how are they going to walk back the Ukraine rhetoric? When they say we are with the Ukraine till the end, no matter how long it takes, no matter what it takes, are they going to start a draft in Canada for the Ukraine? I have no idea. Are we just going to start paying taxes all for the Ukraine? I have no idea. We don't meet our NATO commitments. We don't. And everybody kind of knows it, but we're supposed to be setting the example for other G7 countries I don't even think we're in the G7 anymore, but other G7 countries to donate to Ukraine, donate weapons and money to a losing war effort. Anyway, it's pretty wild. There's lots to get to. We're going to start right at Ukraine. And so let's get to it. National Post says Canada called on to press allies as promised US and EU aid delayed for Ukraine. So there's a person, right? Advocates for Ukraine, this group, are calling on Canada to press its allies to replenish funding to help its war with Russia as defense aid from both the US and EU has begun to dry up. So the premise here, everyone, is the European Union and the United States are not funding Ukraine anymore. So Canada has to pressure them to do that. We don't have any leverage to pressure them to do that. I think it's the most asinine, ridiculous thing in the world. The best thing that Canada could do is call for peace. That's it. Negotiate peace, Mr. Zelensky. That's all the options that you have left. We can't afford it. We can't afford your war. I'm sorry. And we certainly can't replace the EU and the US contribution. And so in light of this new information, it's probably a good idea to negotiate peace. But I think it's laughable that any group out there thinks that it's a good idea to tell Canada to pressure these other governments to fund Ukraine while we fund them to the bitter end, right? Like, wow, please stop funding them to the bitter end. We don't need to waste this money. Here's Justin Trudeau, and he's returning, I guess, from his vacation in Jamaica that was paid for by a liberal donor, maybe a Pfizer exec. Who knows? Who knows? Brian Passafume says, it seems my earlier tweet was incorrect. The RCAF Challenger that arrived earlier today in Jamaica was not the PM's ride home from his Christmas vacation. It would seem it requires 2 aircraft to get the Prime Minister and company home to Ottawa. So that's interesting. Here is Alan. He says, well, la-di-da, aren't we fancy? The villa is fully staffed by a cook, a gardener, housekeepers, and butlers, according to the resort's website. The vacation villa would have cost $84,000 at the going rate, but Trudeau got it for free. So isn't that nice, right? National Post is reporting Trudeau given a free stay at $9,300 a night luxury Jamaican villa over the Christmas holidays. The Prime Minister stayed in a private compound at a luxury beach resort in Jamaica that rents for $9,300 per night, provided to him at no cost. So, yeah, but who's paying for that, right? It is very, very interesting how ethics violations and multiple ethics violations don't result in any kind of change in behavior. This is the exact, like, does the Aga Khan own that resort? Just for, pulling a name out of the hat. Anyway, here's just a part of this article. Justin Trudeau is scheduled to return to Ottawa on Thursday after the 10-day vacation with his 3 children and wife Sophie Gregory Trudeau, from whom he legally separated in August. I wonder if her boyfriend joined them as well. The Prime Minister's office has not disclosed exactly where in Jamaica the Trudeaus stayed, but photos posted on social media during their trip showed 2 family members relaxing poolside at the Frankfurt Villa, a secluded beachfront enclave that is part of the Prosper Estate Resort near Ochos Rios. The resort is owned by the family of Peter Green, a businessman with ties to Trudeau's family dating back to the 1970s through his late father, Pierre Elliott Trudeau. The Frankfurt is one of 5 villas at the resort that can be rented out during what the resort calls the festival period, or the festive period over Christmas holidays. The Frankfurt is available for $7,000 per night. The rate would be about $84,000 Canadian for the 9 nights the Trudeaus spent in Jamaica. The family stayed at the same resort last Christmas, but Trudeau's office did not say then who had paid for their accommodations. Before this year's trip, the PMO originally told the Canadian press that Trudeau would be paying for his family's stay in Jamaica. But after the National Post this week inquired about the extremely high nightly rate, the PMO on Wednesday issued what was described as a clarification to the wire service, this time saying the family had vacationed at no cost at a location owned by family friends. Aw, isn't that nice? I mean, if you had a family friend that was giving out $85,000 or $84,000 vacation villas, that's some gift, right? That's some gift. Melissa Lantsman, who's a deputy leader in the Conservative Party, she says Justin Trudeau accepted an $84,000 luxury vacation from a Trudeau Foundation donor and then lied to Canadians about it. Okay, so say you accept this gift, right? Say you're a high-powered VP and you get a call from somebody, right? Somebody somewhere, and they say, we've got, or maybe friends of your family from way back, they knew your dad, right? They call you and they say, we've got this $84,000 villa. You bring your kids, your ex-wife, her boyfriend, whoever you want to bring, man. Their black friend, whatever you want, man, whatever you want. So, who knows, right? Justin Trudeau gets photo ops, right, with specific people in there. Remember when he was accused of not being a friend to black people, right? And then he got a picture of him and a black child and put that as his profile picture. I couldn't believe how brazen that was. Anyway, if you accept that vacation, you and your ex-wife or boyfriend, your kids, you all head down there. It's a hilarious time, right? And then after that vacation, what do you owe him? He calls you up and he says, hey, man, I'd love to sit down and pick your brain over dinner. I'd love to get your opinion on this thing. And then comes the ask. Oh, well, we could only do that if, the Canadian government looked the other way on these taxes, right? No problem. $84,000 vacation later, right? No problem. Maybe. Who knows, right? Who knows? And it's good for Canadians, right? Canadian jobs are made and North Korean jobs or South Korean jobs are made too, right? Same time in Canada, right? It seems that there's conflict. It seems that there's inherent conflict here, right? And so that seems bad. Here's Laurie Goldstein cutting to the quick of it. He says, why isn't it a matter of course that we're informed of who is giving any prime minister expensive free vacations or indeed any MP expensive free vacations, right? Morneau went to Africa to see the Wee Brothers huts with plaques on them. That's an interesting product to sell, right? That's a very specific, very niche market. Anyway, back to this. The issue is whether the person or persons giving the gifts does business with the government and whether it creates a conflict of interest. Knowing the gift givers solve that. Yeah, right? And there's speculation over who the gift giver is, but I think that it would be even better to understand how they fit, right? Maybe make it a matter of public record. If you give the prime minister an $84,000 vacation, maybe everybody's going to know your name and who you do business with and so on and so forth, because if the prime minister then acts in your benefit, or if the government then acts in your benefit, it looks fishy, right? It looks bad. Here's housing. Let's talk about housing and immigration. So that's the end of the vacation stuff. People are entitled to go on vacation, and Trudeau's rich. He can spend, $100,000 on a Christmas vacation if he wants to, right? Sure, that doesn't bother me. It doesn't really. And even he has rich friends. It doesn't bother me that rich friends donate this vacation to him. I'm sure, people do that. Rich people will do that. Do they do that? I don't think I've donated a $10,000 vacation to my friends. Like, I haven't done that. I haven't called up my friends and said, you guys just deserve it. Like, here, over Christmas, let's go to Universal Studios, $10,000 vacation. Boom. Done. I don't know, just off the top of my head. So what, right? Like, do rich people do that? Am I out of the loop am I just not rich enough to get the free $100,000 vacations? How much richer do I need to be? A lot richer. Spoiler alert, a lot richer. Anyway, I guess $100,000 vacation. Would you pay for a hotel room for your friends? Like, you're traveling together. If you get to the hotel first, it's like a night's in and you're like, okay, yeah, put it all on my credit card. It's cool. We'll all settle up later. I could do that. It wouldn't make me think twice, right? But like, yeah, put the Disney trip on this one. That's okay. No, that's a little bit far. Okay. I've spent too much time on this. Let's move on to housing. Robbie says he owes them something. Okay. Robbie says, pandering Pierre's at it again. I just wanted you to see, he's talking about immigration, and this guy's asking, people are talking about conservatives being anti-immigrant. Are you going to be anti-immigrant, Mr. Poilievre? And Mr. Poilievre says, no, we're going to be very, very pro-immigrant. And here you go. He's speaking a different language. I don't know which dialect he's speaking, so I don't want to say, but because I'm not sure. But they're speaking a different language at first, but then Poilievre is very clearly speaking English. He's just got a bit of a thick accent, but he is speaking a different language. Here we go.
Mr. Pierre, happy Baisakhi.
Happy Baisakhi. Sat Sri Akal. Good to be with you.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,
Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Many people thinking Conservative Party of Canada anti-immigration.
No, wrong.
Yeah, people say that.
No. Babji, that's wrong.
Okay.
Conservative Party is fighting for every Canadian, including our newcomers. My wife is a refugee from Venezuela.
Yep.
We stand for immigrants. In fact, we want to fix the immigration system that Justin Trudeau has broke. We're going to use common sense. We'll support lawful immigration. We'll make it faster to unite families, bring people to fill job openings, and rescue people from danger. And we'll make it lawful and get rid of all the chaos the Liberals have caused.
So when he's Prime Minister, he's going to bring families together. Conservative Party is not anti-immigration party. Support him.
Pro-Canadian, pro-immigration. Let's bring it home for Canada. Let's bring it home for everybody.
He repeats "bring it home" 4 or 5 more times. So I'm just going to stop it there. But you heard him loud and clear. He says pro-Canadian, pro-immigration, bring it home, build it home, blah blah blah. So that's there you go. The problem is if you don't, and he has said the solution to the problem of the housing situation is tying the number of immigrants to the number of housing units that are available. Okay, he has said that. I don't think he's committed to doing that, but he has clearly said that he understands the issue and he understands the solution to a degree, right? Tying the number of immigrants coming in, new immigrants coming in, to the number of houses created. So they're going to go on a building blitz. They're going to go on an unbelievably fast building blitz. They're going to put up apartments very fast that are going to have lots of units available fast in order to enable this immigration explosion, right? Because he wants to bring people faster, build houses faster, and so on and so forth. But he hasn't committed to doing what he said is the solution. Okay? That's my issue. He said what the solution is and implied other people fill it in. Like when you hear a politician explain the solution to a problem, you think that they're saying that they're going to do it, right? I think in this case, he's just explaining the solution, not necessarily what he's going to do. If he does it, all right, good, right? But at the same time, we have a huge backlog of people. Like we need to do a couple of years of building in order to meet the demand that we've created with the people that we've imported. So Poilievre is not talking about that. He's only talking about pro-immigration. So it's notable, right? It's notable, especially in the face of the societal upheaval, the breakdown in societal cohesion. That's something to note, as well as the housing issue, the housing crisis that is ongoing, the affordability crisis that's ongoing. So all of that is very concerning. Here's Wall Street Silver. He's talking about this. This has been proposed since 2020, and here we are in 2024. And Daily Mail says UK to get its first ever LGBTQ plus only housing for over 55s if new scheme in Manchester is approved. Well, it's a scheme, all right. Like, holy smoke. Yeah. All you have to do is identify as gay, and then you can live there. That's one loophole in this whole thing. And two, the justification for this is weak at best. At best. Anyway, here's part of the article. UK to get its first ever LGBT only place for housings for only over 55s if new scheme is approved. Manchester, they repeat it over and over. The extra care housing development will see 120 flats built on a vacant site of the Spire Hospital in Whalley Ridge. The groundbreaking proposal has been revealed by Great Places Housing Group, which plans to build 2 new apartment blocks on the demolished hospital plot. One will be a 4 to 5 story brick building, including 81 and 2-bedroom flats for 55 plus from the LGBTQ community, and the other will have 40 apartments, also of 1 and 2 bedrooms. This is the 2020 article on it, and I thought this is the justification they're using. A game changer, they say. The UK's first LGBTQ plus extra care house scheme goes ahead. They keep calling it a scheme. Bill Moss, a retired prison officer, felt isolated before COVID as the only gay person in his block of sheltered flats in Salford. Coronavirus has heightened his sense of loneliness. Single, without any close family, and cut off from an active social life in Manchester's gay village, he spends most of the day with only the TV for company. Single tear. So in order to help him, we have to have this game-changing LGBT-only flats. It just seems crazy. This is not a valid justification for all of this. And limiting it to a sexual orientation or a sexual preference like that is very discriminatory. And like, could you limit it to super straight people? Sorry, you have to be super straight. If you're not actively pregnant or with children, then you're not living here. People would lose their mind. They'd be like, those are the nicest places. We want to live there as single people. Just because they want to destroy it, right? So you couldn't have that, but LGBTQ, this is a game-changing thing. Yeah, give me a break, right? Bill is talking about immigration. He says only 142,000 deportations in all of fiscal year 2023. More than double that just came across the southern border in the month of December alone. So this is the United States. Deportation numbers are a drop in the bucket and do not match up with promises of consequences, and the non-detained docket is now 6 million plus and nearly doubling under Biden. And ICE is tweeting out, ICE and DHS government, Department of Homeland Security, I believe, remove foreign nationals according to U.S. law who lack a lawful basis to stay in the United States. This policy applies to all non-citizens regardless of nationality. So it's interesting. You've got ICE group of people who are out there who are supposed to be deporting illegals, and they don't. And they lose court cases, and court cases get tied up, and it seems like there's no standing to actually remove people who are in the country illegally. And if they commit crimes, they're protected, whereas regular run-of-the-mill citizens are paying for it all, right? And not protected, right? And if they go and protest, well, they get thrown in jail. That's January 6th thing was a riot, right, Mr. DeSantis? We'll get there. Cambridge today, I did a deep dive on recycling in 2018. Years ago I did. Years. And I thought, I came across it because I remember that Waterloo created the recycling box. I think it was Waterloo or close to us anyway. And close to me geographically, I live in Guelph. So I read about it, and I read about this whole scam that is recycling, and it was a scam basically by Pepsi and Coke to stop having to deal with the glass bottles. They wanted to have disposable plastic bottles, right? For bottling their beverages, because it was a lot cheaper, right? And so they were like, no, this whole recycling thing will pay for itself. And it's just a scam. I think it's a complete scam. Total, utter scam. And this circular economy thing, it's another scam. It's the next phase of the scam, right? We're being bamboozled again. Here is Cambridge today. Changes are coming to the region of Waterloo recycling program. The way recycling is handled in the region will soon be changing. In 2021, the province of Ontario announced it was transitioning its Blue Box program, moving recycling services off the plate of municipalities and into the hands of the producers who create products and packaging. Beginning March 2nd, the region of Waterloo will begin to shift its Blue Box program to Circular Materials Ontario, CMO, a company that implements and supports efficient recycling programs across Canada. CMO is founded by 17 food, beverage, and consumer product manufacturers, restaurants, and retailers, including Costco, McDonald's, Loblaws Companies Limited, Coca-Cola, and Nestle. Under the new system, these companies bear the financial costs and are tasked with executing the execution of recycling. The province estimates it will result in a savings of $156 million a year for municipalities, but that won't be known until CMO takes over full responsibility for the program in 2026. Interesting, right? Like the whole idea of if you're removing $156 million of cost for municipalities, does that cost just disappear, poof, gone? Or now is that $156 million the responsibility of the CMO, making the CMO very profitable, or a company that is turning a lot of money anyway? Like $156 million is not a small amount of money. And then these people are incentivized for more circular economy stuff, right? CMO stuff, right? Circular materials. And they're incentivized then to find more circular materials that they can include in their program, et cetera, et cetera. And so it seems we're going to pay for it, right, through downloading of that cost into the grocery store. And that's what they talk about here. That won't be known until CMO takes over in 2026. In the meantime, some of the costs are expected to be recovered at the grocery store as consumers begin to see recycling fees added to their purchase. Isn't that a tax? Recycling fee? Raspberry clamshell recycling fee. Woo, great. These raspberries cost $3.99, but now they're $9.99. Lucky us, because the recycling fee. The overall benefit of a producer-led program is that they're now responsible for the waste they create. Deanna Dinkin, project manager of waste management for the region, said it should be a seamless transition from the region to the producers. Yeah, it should be seamless. I can't foresee any problems. Everything's going to go tickety-boo, hunky-dory, right? Don't even worry about it. Here's how much food is increasing in price right now. Food Professor says protein price updates since March 2020 in Canada. Ground beef is plus 16%. Pork shoulder is 4%. Whole chicken, 4%. Lentils up 25%. Dry beans up 23%. Tofu up 16%. Hummus up 10%. Food prices, protein prices. So yeah, there's a lot of increase. Is that acceptable? The meat is really getting like the compounding of this interest, the compounding of the, 4% increase here, 16% increase here. It's getting there. Bacon is getting like up to $10 now, right? If you buy, it's not even a pound of bacon. 375 grams of bacon is $10. Well, depends on the bacon you buy. I buy it on sale. Sometimes you can find it at Giant Tiger for cheap. You can find it like $2.99 cheap, $3.99 cheap, right? But run of the mill, bacon is like $5.50, $6.50, $7.50, depending on if you're getting brand name or store brand. And even the store brand, $6.50. And it used to be bacon was $2.99. Like you could get bacon for $2.99 and full price was $4.50 or something like that. So, man, it is pretty incredible what's going on with the food prices and the farm. Hello everyone, thanks very much for watching. This is just a short version of a longer show. If you'd like to get the whole show, you can go over to CanadaPoly.com and sign up for a subscription. Just look in the drop-down tab for Shop and Donate and look for subscriptions, and you'll get immediate access to the full show. Love to see you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.